Zombies was never meant to be easy. You spawned in with a pistol, 500 points, and got to surviving. From there, it was a grind. Getting points to open up the map, buying perks, hoping for a good gun from the mystery box, and pack-a-punching your weapons. That slow climb towards a full setup was a core part of the Call of Duty Zombies experience, with every map being different. Some requiring more setup, others not quite. But no matter what, everyone started from the exact same place. Well, that was until the introduction of a new feature that was about to break the game balance forever. Of course, I'm talking about Gobblegums. Now, let's talk about how they break game balance, starting with how Gobblegums break progression. Before Gobblegums existed, progression in Zombies was simple, boiled down to two things: getting points and spending points. Some maps showed this off to a T, like Naked Totem. No perks, no pack-a-punch, just doors, war guns, and your ability to do well. On a map like this, you could only get and spend points. Other maps added more steps, turning on power, unlocking pack-a-punch, or building the wonder weapon. But even these required the player to gain and spend points, they just had more substance. But no matter the map, you always had the zero to hero journey, starting from nothing, gaining points, deciding what to buy, and slowly building your way up. All of these choices you had to make as a player was what made Zombies progression fun. Do you risk buying the Bowie knife early, or do you save for Jug? Do you head straight for the mystery box, or do you stick with the war weapon? Do you pack a punch early, or do you wait until you got all of your perks? All of these decisions added weight and variety to the progression. No two runs were exactly the same, and as you start to learn the map and gain more knowledge and experience, the progression gets closer to your own playstyle. But then, Gobblegums came along, and a lot of those decisions just straight up stopped mattering. Like, why even decide which 4 perks you want, or the order you get them in, when you can just pop a perkaholic on round 1 and instantly have them all? Why think about which route to take through the map when Shopping Free opens everything for you in a single round? And honestly, why even bother playing the game properly when round robbing lets you skip the entire round with zero consequences? Now, instead of seeing players' own style when progressing through the map, we just see the same guns being used every single match. That knowledge and experience that you needed to play well was now gone. You aren't learning anymore. You aren't making tough calls anymore. You don't have to work for anything anymore. All you are doing is using shortcuts to get to the end quicker. And look, that's just BO3. Fast forward to BO6, where progression is way more complex with armor system, weapon rarities, triple pack-a-punch, score streaks, and so on. And surprise, Gobblegums are back, ruin it all over again. Hidden Power upgrades your gun to legendary rarity instantly. Wonderbar can just hand you the map's wonder weapon without doing the quest. Support Group gives you score streaks for free, and if you're tired of even playing, pop exit strategy and just leave the game. Like, why even bother having these progression mechanics if Gobblegums just let you skip all over it? The best analogy I have for this is creative mode for Minecraft. You see, that feeling when you load into a world, and let's say your goal is to beat the Ender Dragon, that unique journey of you preparing by mining, enchanting, getting prepared, and finally beating the Ender Dragon is amazing. And every time you do it, the journey changes. But what if now all you do when you spawn in is go into creative mode, get all the same things, and then fight it? Sure, the first couple of times is fun, but after some time you probably will get bored and stop. As with no risk, there is no reward. And I feel this is what it feels like to use Gobblegums. You spawn in, and depending on what you've got equipped, or in BO6 case where you can have any of the guns at any point in time, you can just spawn in and already be at the end while skipping the truly important and fun part of Zombies. Now, let's move on to another big one. Gobblegums completely remove player mistakes. See, in Zombies, no matter how good you are, mistakes are bound to happen. You get cornered, you train wrong, you get tired. It happens to everyone. And usually, these mistakes are make or break moments. They keep you on your toes, they force you to stay engaged, because there aren't many safety nets in place to save you. Sure, there are a few, like monkey bombs that help you when going down or to revive a teammate, or quick revive to revive you when you actually go down yourself. but they were limited and balanced. Quick revive disappears after 3 uses, and monkeys only come back with max ammos. You had to think carefully about when to use them. Now imagine a zombies game where mistakes basically don't matter. Well, that's Gobblegums. Run out of ammo, max ammo, gums, fix that instantly. Stuck in a corner? Pop anywhere but here, idolize, or now you see me and you're safe. Go down, don't even worry about it. Self-medication revives you with all your perks. Playing with friends, Phoenix Up brings everyone back fully loaded as well. And if you somehow lose perks, just pop another Burgerholic or Raindrops and you're golden again. The point is that if you made a mistake when playing zombies, it could seriously determine if you're going to lose or not. But thanks to Gobblegums, these days of being engaged and attentive, trying your hardest not to make a mistake, are long gone, with now there being a Gobblegum for each situation. And now we can move on to the biggest issue I have with the Gobblegum system, which brings to light the disgusting nature of this predatory feature. Microtransactions. Gobblegums weren't added to give players more freedom. They weren't designed to genuinely improve gameplay. They were designed to make zombies profitable. Unlike multiplayer, which had weapon skins, supply drops and cosmetics, zombie players didn't really have a way to spend money outside of DLC. And Activision, being the evil and greedy company that it is, wasn't just about to leave a gold mine untouched. So what did they do? They introduced the Gobblegum system, and how better than to turn it into a gambling system. Yes, liquid divinium was the currency, and every time you spent it, you had no clue what you were going to get. If you wanted specific gums, you either farmed like crazy, or forked over real cash. Now, some people defend this system with brain-dead takes, like, just earn liquid divinium by playing. Just don't use Gobblegums if you don't like them. And now, you see, when it comes to player psychology, when offering them 2 paths, one shorter and easier, and the other more difficult and time-consuming, want it or not, most players will align themselves with the path of least resistance, choosing the path that seems easier over the hard path, even if that's at the cost of enjoyment. And when it comes to earning liquid divinium, it's straight up miserable. The strat was literally to play to round 7, spend points, and reset, over and over again. 1 divinium at a time. So much so that back when I used to play BO3 on the console, I farmed like 100 divinium in a week. Just no lifing to round 7 and quitting. It took around 3 to 5 minutes per liquid divinium, and I just did that over and over again. It was brain dead. So when Activision blessed us with a 100 divinium for $30 bundle, oh, I went crazy and bought them instantly. And so did others. I will admit that the new way to earn Gobblegums in BO6 is a lot better, giving you 1 to 3 gums based on playtime, rounds, points, etc. But it still has its problem. As while the new system gives you a good amount of gums, and you can get loads in a single match, there is still big incentive to buy them from the store, as they have made buying Gobblegums even more appetizing this time by telling you exactly what's in them, which helps you put a value on these packs. And it is much better than the BO3 gambling way, but these packs are still extremely overpriced with what they offer. And I don't think people quite understand, these are consumables. They aren't like skins, where once you buy them, you get to keep them forever. You're spending up to $20 on getting a bunch of ultra mega gums to then be used in 2 to 3 games. And we can't ignore the role zombies YouTubers had in this. Yeah, Activision was predatory, but creators really didn't help when it came to people spending money on Gobblegums, as big YouTubers would drop insane money for hundreds of spins or packs, getting any gum they wanted, making other players who didn't want to put up with having to grind weeks on end to pay up. And this was such a problem that it became its own trend, with YouTubers doing liquid divinium openings, which got millions of views and added fuel to the fire. And to no one's surprise, this Gobblegum system worked a little too well, and for that reason had returned in IW as Fate and Fortune cards, BO4 with elixirs, and BO6 with Gobblegums. And if that wasn't enough, with BO7, it's already confirmed to have them as well. And I very much doubt that Activision will ever get rid of this system, as it is far too profitable. With that being said though, let's move on to the positives, as there are some, of the Gobblegum system. One of the biggest upsides is that Gobblegums actually help new players who are just learning zombies. For people who aren't part of the community or are new to zombies, it's quite a steep learning curve. And with every game being a new experience to learn and get used to, it's understandable that for new players, it's going to be a bit overwhelming when you're only spawning with a pistol with no clue where or what Jug is. And probably die before round 5. Go and check out the Pro vs New to go back and remind you of how it used to be as a new player in Zombies. And Gobblegums gave those players a little helping hand, making the mode more approachable for some players. And even on the flip side, for experienced players, Gobblegums let you live out that overpowered main character fantasy that loads of us want to have, as sometimes you don't really want to go through a lot to get set up, or just don't have the time and would rather just relax, zone out, and shoot zombies for fun. And this sometimes is needed so players can recharge. And another underrated positive is the creativity they introduced. Because Gobblegums weren't just about making the game easier, they also provided new ways to play the game, helping players come up with new strategies. Like a strategy me and 3 of my friends found that made it possible for the first time in history for a group of 4 to reach 999. Sadly, it was an exploit and did get patched, but go and check out the video using the iCard above and links in the description. So with Gums changing how high round, speedruns, Easter egg and weird challenges are played, they end up making them all more varied and interesting, adding more replayability to the game. So yeah, Gobblegums are one of those systems that on the surface looks fun and enjoyable, thinking they are made with players in mind, but in reality this is just another cash grab that has dire consequences on ruining the Zombies formula. When in the best case scenario you don't use them, and get to enjoy the game as it was meant to be, and in the worst case you are spending money on insanely overpriced consumables that are overpowered and ruin the fun of the game. And I think based on this video you can already take a wild guess on whether I enjoy this system or not, and frankly, I think they suck. And unless you're using them for a unique challenge, or every now and then, I will always try my hardest to not use them. But what do you think? Do you think Gobblegums are game breaking? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you've enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and of course, smash that subscribe button for more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!